Long ago, in the distant village of Bantaif, resided a virtuous and lovely woman named Modu. She led a joyful life, being wed to a young man named Madin. This couple thrived in happiness within the embrace of the Bantaif village. Madin, a respected farmer, garnered admiration for his agricultural prowess. Meanwhile, Modu, recognized as a skilled trader, sold food crops in the village market, having acquired farming expertise from her beloved husband. Despite their happiness, there was a singular problem that challenged their union. Modu and Madin had no children. It didn't take long. Gossip about Modu's childlessness began to circulate in the village, yet she remained undeterred. Each night, she fervently prayed to the gods, seeking a child who would silence her mockers. Years passed without the arrival of a child, until one night when Modu dreamt of an Orisha. Overwhelmed by the divine radiance, she trembled in fear. The Orisha, reassuringly, told Modu that her prayers had been heard, and she would bear a unique child. "You will have a child, a special child. She will bear the mark of the gods and possess wings unlike any child ever born," proclaimed the Orisha, promising fortune and foretelling the sprouting of wings on the child's 16th birthday. Awakening from this mystical dream, Modu, momentarily frightened, dismissed it, choosing not to dwell on its significance. In due time, Modu gave birth to a breathtaking girl named Elira, whose beauty prompted an outpouring of gifts from the villagers. However, the serene melody of life in Bantaif was short-lived. A somber day arrived when Madin fell victim to a debilitating illness, rendering him unable to walk. Despite Modu's tireless efforts, her husband remained confined to his bed, challenging the harmony they once knew. She met with the best doctors her money could pay, but there was nothing that could be done. After a few months, Madin died, leaving his beautiful wife and daughter alone in the world. Modu and her daughter, Elira, mourned for their beloved husband and father for a long time. However, Modu knew she needed to be strong and take care of her daughter. Elira also knew she needed to be strong for her mother also. As time passed, Yeton grew up to be beautiful and loved by the villagers. Her teeth were white as snow and her smile could make the coldest of heart to melt. Over time, Modu didn't think much about the dream she had about her daughter. She was just happy she had finally had a child that was obedient, kind and grateful. She also didn't tell the dream to her daughter Elira, because one, she felt it was just an imaginary dream, and also she didn't want her daughter to be scared or to look at herself differently. It was a fateful afternoon that Elira was cooking in the kitchen. Modu, on the other hand, was busy outside when all of a sudden she heard a scream from inside. She quickly rushed into the kitchen to check on her daughter. Behold, when Modu arrived inside the kitchen, she saw that two majestic white feathered wings had sprouted from her daughter's back. Modu was beyond shocked. She then remembered the dream she dreamt many years ago and now finally believed that it was true. Modu then calmed down her daughter and told her to command the wings to disappear, as she remembered that the Oriche told her that her daughter would be able to willingly summon the wings and make it disappear just by wishing it in her mind. After the wings disappeared, Modu then sat her daughter down and explained the entire story to her. "No matter what happens, you must never use this your gift, my child," Modu warned her daughter Elira. Elira nodded. She assured her mother that she would heed her warnings in order not to bring any problems to their family. 1 year passed as Modu and her daughter continued to live a quiet and peaceful life in the village of Bantaif. 1 year passed as Modu and her daughter continued to live a quiet and peaceful life in the village of Bantaif. Modu missed her husband dearly, and sometimes she wished he was still alive to watch their beautiful daughter grow to be so nurturing and beautiful. She also wished she was alive to had helped them, as sometimes she felt the burden of catering for herself and her daughter was so much to bear. However, Modu always took comfort that Elira never once complained about her chores or going to the market or even going to the farm. She was grateful to the gods for granting her a good and understanding child like Elira, and for that she was indeed grateful. One morning, like any other morning, Elira had gone to the stream to fetch water. She had gone with her best friend Mira and her little brother. Myra's parents had died a few years back in a tragic accident, and because of this she and her brothers were now orphans. Before their death, Myra's parents were good friends with Modu and had supported her in taking care of Elira after her husband died. Because of this, Mira and Elira grew to be the best of friends, and their bond only got stronger after Myra's parents had died. It was still sunny when Mira and Elira got to the stream. There, they realized no one was there and that they were the only ones that came to fetch water. In an attempt to fetch the water, something drastically strange and tragic happened. At the edge of the river, a strong wave of water came through and succeeded in dragging Myra's little brother, pulling him far away from dry land, Tola. Mira screamed her brother's name in agony and shocked as she watched her brother struggle with the water. Elira, who could think of no other way to help her friend, decided that she could not let Mira lose her only remaining family member. She sprouted her wings and flew towards the raging water. She succeeded in pulling Tola out of the water and then flew them back to dry land. "Please, you must never speak of what you saw to anyone," Elira told her friend Mira, who was still in shock after witnessing what happened. "Thank you. Thank you for saving my brother. He's all I have." Mira burst into tears. She hugged her dear friend for saving her brother's life. She was more grateful to her friend than curious as to where she got the power. Mira promised that she would never speak of what she saw to anyone. The two girls headed back to the village. In the cool of the evening, some villagers had gathered around Modu's house and began to chant witch. Unknown to Elira, some village women who were returning from a nearby village had taken the path of the stream and had watched Elira save Myra's little brother. As soon as the women returned to the village, they began to spread word of mouth. They told more villagers what they had saw. In just a few hours, almost all the villagers had heard the gossip that Modu's daughter had wings and that she was a witch. As soon as Modu saw that villagers had gathered around her house, she knew something had happened. She knew that it had to do with Elira and her gifts. "Elira, what did you do?" Modu asked her daughter. Elira could not give an answer but only started to cry. "I saved him, Mama." That was all she could say. Modu and her daughter Elira were soon dragged out of their hut. The villagers began to murmur that Elira must not be allowed to live. Some said that Modu had gone to meet the water spirits to give her a bewitched child. Others said that Elira would bewitch their children if allowed to stay in the village. Some villagers had even gone to carry torches of fire ready to kill Modu's only child. Modu, out of shock and agony, fell to the ground and began weeping for her child. Was she going to lose Elira, her only daughter, the same way she lost her husband? She cried. It was a night of agony and pain, as the child who once brought laughter to the village was now hated because of her divine gift. What will be the fate of Elira and her mother? Find out in the next episode. Do not forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Till we meet again.